The sun was just beginning to rise over the horizon, casting a warm golden light across the rolling hills. A gentle breeze rustled the grass, creating a peaceful sound that filled the quiet morning. This was the perfect time for a journey, and it was on this lovely morning that a traveler named Leo set out on his adventure. Leo was not just any traveler. He was a curious spirit with bright blue eyes and tousled brown hair that danced in the wind. He wore a sturdy backpack filled with essentials, a water bottle, some snacks, and his trusty journal, where he documented his travels. Leo loved exploring new places, meeting new people, and discovering the beauty of nature. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe. Each journey was a chance for him to learn something new about the world around him. Today, Leo had chosen to walk along a winding trail that meandered through the countryside. He had heard tales of the breathtaking views and the hidden wonders waiting to be discovered. With each step, he felt more excited about what lay ahead. His heart raced with anticipation as he walked past tall trees and vibrant wildflowers. Birds chirped overhead, and he couldn't help but smile at the beauty surrounding him. As he trekked further along the path, Leo thought about the purpose of this journey. He had always wanted to connect with nature in a deeper way, to understand its secrets and rhythms. The stories passed down through generations inspired him. Stories of wild animals roaming freely, connecting with humans in ways that seemed magical. He yearned to witness such moments firsthand and hoped this adventure would bring him closer to that dream. Leo loved being outdoors, but there was something especially thrilling about wandering through these vast landscapes alone. It gave him time to think and reflect on his life back home. He often felt constrained by everyday routines and city noises. Out here, everything felt alive and limitless. The open sky above was like an invitation to explore without boundaries. While Leo enjoyed his solitude, he also wondered what surprises lay ahead. Would he meet other travelers, discover hidden spots, perhaps even encounter wildlife? The possibilities were endless. As the trail twisted and turned, he remained alert, taking in every sight and sound. Suddenly, up ahead on an open patch of land, something caught his attention. A breathtaking view of the mountains in the distance. Stopping to catch his breath, Leo marveled at the scene before him. The mountains rose majestically against the clear blue sky, their peaks dusted with snow that glimmered in the sunlight. Leo pulled out his journal and began sketching the landscape, while jotting down his thoughts about how incredible it felt to be surrounded by nature's wonders. Feeling inspired, Leo decided to continue on his way. But unknown to him, a pair of watchful eyes observed from a distance. A wild horse stood grazing nearby, a magnificent creature with a shiny chestnut coat that glowed in the sunlight. This horse was known in these parts for its graceful demeanor and wild spirit, often seen roaming freely across expansive fields. As Leo resumed his hike down the trail, lost in thoughts about his discoveries, he couldn't shake off the feeling that someone, or something, was watching him. When he glanced over his shoulder, his gaze met that of the wild horse. It stood quietly at first, head raised high as if weighing its options. There was an undeniable connection between them for just a fleeting moment, a silent understanding that both were explorers in their own right. Curiosity sparked inside Leo as he wondered what this horse was thinking. Was it friendly? Did it sense something special about him? In truth, neither knew what destiny had in store for them that day. But as Leo continued along the trail without realizing it yet, the horse took its first cautious steps towards him. Leo's heart skipped a beat as he felt drawn toward the horse's warm brown eyes. He could sense an unspoken bond forming between them already, one that sparked excitement within him like never before. The traveler and beast stood across from each other on either side of an invisible line drawn by nature, each uncertain yet eager to bridge it. As they gazed at each other beneath the wide-open sky framed by distant mountains, Leo began to feel that this adventure would not only be enriching because of sights or experiences, but also because of unexpected companionship accompanying him along this path. Little did Leo know that this simple encounter would change both their lives forever. Starting with a wild horse chasing after a traveler who was ready for anything life had to offer. As Leo continued along the winding trail, captivated by the beauty of the countryside, he caught a glimpse of movement in his peripheral vision. Turning slightly, he noticed a flash of chestnut fur darting between the tall grass. It was quick and elegant, a vivid contrast to the lush green surroundings. Intrigued, Leo paused to get a better look, and there, amidst the wildflowers, stood a magnificent wild horse. The horse's coat shimmered under the sun, radiating rich shades of reddish-brown mixed with hints of gold. Its mane flowed like silk in the wind, wild and untamed, dancing around its strong neck. The creature's powerful legs were poised with grace, each muscle defined as it took in its surroundings. This was no ordinary animal. It exuded an aura of freedom and spirit that could be felt even from a distance. Leo found himself mesmerized. The horse had a striking pair of deep brown eyes that seemed to hold secrets of the wild. They sparkled with intelligence and curiosity as they scanned the area, taking in the new presence on its territory. With every flick of its ears, the horse communicated its alertness and awareness, embodying the essence of being truly wild and free. For a moment, time stood still as Leo studied the horse's every detail. He admired how it represented strength and independence, living by its own rules far from human constraints. The wild horse was a symbol of nature's beauty in its most authentic form, untamed and untouched. Leo's heart raced with excitement. He had seen horses before, but never one so majestic and free. As Leo caught his breath from the awe he felt at seeing such a creature, the horse slowly took a few careful steps toward him. It moved cautiously at first, as if weighing whether to approach the curious traveler or retreat into the safety of the wild grass. With each step forward, Leo could see more of its features, the gentle curve of its muzzle and the delicate yet sturdy build that characterized wild horses. While Leo stood still, unsure of how to react, he could feel an invisible thread tying him to this stunning animal. There was an undeniable connection forming in that brief moment, a sense that both were embarking on their own unique journeys in this vast world. The horse nudged closer, its soft breaths carrying a hint of sweet grass and earth. Surely it was intrigued by Leo just as much as he was fascinated by it. Despite being drawn toward each other, an air of uncertainty lingered between them. Would the horse see him as a friend or foe? After all, it had lived its life roaming without human interference. Leo could sense the horse's wild spirit and innate hesitation to let anyone get too close. He knew he had to tread carefully. Wild horses were known for their flight response when they felt threatened. Leo decided to speak softly, hoping his gentle voice would put the horse at ease. "Hey there, beautiful," he said slowly, marveling at how extraordinary it was to be standing so close to such a creature. "I won't hurt you." He reached into his backpack for some snacks. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to offer something tasty. But before he could get closer or make another sound, a slight rustle in the bushes caused the horse to jerk its head up sharply, ears pricked forward. It regarded the sound with caution before deciding that Leo posed no danger after all. To Leo's delight, the wild horse seemed curious rather than scared. It tilted its head slightly, as if asking him what this strange human was doing here on its land. With great care not to invade its space too much, Leo remained still and calm, sensing that patience would be key. He waited silently while enjoying this unexpected encounter. The sun shone brighter, as if recognizing this unique moment shared between two beings from very different worlds. Then suddenly, as if deciding that curiosity outweighed caution, the wild horse took another step forward, ending their distance and sealing their unspoken bond for the moment. Leo's heart fluttered with joy. Nothing could compare to witnessing such raw beauty up close. This was more than just an encounter. It felt like a beginning. In this enchanting setting, beneath an expansive sky framed by distant mountains and surrounded by vibrant flora, the traveler and wild horse stood together in a rare moment of connection that would alter their paths significantly. Each was exploring not only their physical surroundings, but also an emotional journey toward understanding, connection, and companionship. Little did they know that this magical meeting would set into motion events that neither could have predicted. A shared adventure that would bring them closer together while capturing the attention of an entire town in ways that would unite them all. As Leo and the wild horse stood there in their moment of connection, something unexpected began to happen. After taking that initial step closer, the wild horse paused for a moment, as if contemplating its next move. Then, with a surprising confidence, it decided to follow Leo as he resumed his walk along the trail. At first, Leo didn't realize it was happening. He was too caught up in his thoughts about the vibrant scenery around him. The sunlight danced on the leaves above, and the sweet scent of wildflowers filled the air, pulling him deeper into nature's embrace. But when he heard soft hoofbeats crunching on the gravel behind him, he paused and turned around. There was the horse, standing just a few feet behind him, head tilted as if asking where they were headed. Leo blinked in confusion and felt a rush of excitement mixed with disbelief. "Are you really following me?" he wondered aloud, half expecting the horse to turn and gallop away into the distance. But instead, it took another step forward, closing the gap between them. Its deep brown eyes sparkled with curiosity, clearly intrigued by this peculiar human who had wandered into its territory. The realization settled in that this wild horse had chosen to accompany him on his journey. Leo felt a swell of joy at this unexpected development. It felt like an adventure had just taken a marvelous turn. Yet, he couldn't shake off a sense of bewilderment. Did this magnificent creature truly want to follow him? As they walked side by side along the trail, Leo found himself glancing back frequently to catch glimpses of the horse's graceful movements. The way it trotted confidently beside him filled him with awe. He soon noticed how its powerful legs moved fluidly through the grass and flowers, each step echoing a rhythm that resonated with Leo's heartbeat. Yet there were moments when both traveler and beast shared a look of uncertainty. The horse would sometimes stop short, as if questioning whether this human was worth following, or if it should retreat into its familiar wilderness. In those instances, Leo would pause as well, giving space for the horse to consider its decision while reassuring it with gentle words. "Don't worry," Leo said softly one day, as they paused near a bubbling stream for a quick break. "I'm just exploring." He slowly reached into his backpack and extracted some of his snacks, a mix of fruits and there. Leo called softly, not wanting to startle it. "You can drink if you want." He smiled as he watched the horse take tentative steps toward the water, its eyes darting between him and the creek. There was something incredible about how this wild creature had chosen to trust him, an adventure for both that neither had expected. After quenching its thirst, the horse turned back toward Leo. It shook its mane, droplets glistening in the light as if celebrating this moment together. Leo couldn't help but laugh at how playful it seemed. Even in its wildness, there was a spirit of camaraderie developing between them. As they resumed their journey, Leo started to acknowledge more signs of connection that blossomed day by day. During their travels through open fields and dense woods, he would often pause to pick wildflowers or gather interesting stones along their path. The horse would stand patiently nearby, watching with those bright brown eyes, as if encouraging him to explore further. One morning, while walking through a meadow filled with vibrant daisies dancing in the breeze, Leo picked a handful of flowers and held them out toward his companion. "Here, for you," he exclaimed with enthusiasm. At first, the horse seemed uncertain about this new offering. With an inquisitive tilt of its head and cautious steps forward, it eventually dipped closer to sniff the colorful blooms. Feeling encouraged by this reaction, Leo knelt closer and gently laid a flower near its muzzle. To his delight, the horse nibbled on one daisy cautiously before stepping back again as if processing what had just happened. This small exchange brought immense joy to both. It felt like a breakthrough moment in their relationship. Leo began to notice how responsive and engaged his companion was becoming. When he laughed loudly or clapped his hands in excitement after discovering something new on their journey, a stunning view or a hidden waterfall, the horse's ears would perk up almost instantly, as if sharing in that joy with him. This awareness created an invisible thread, connecting them even deeper. They were no longer merely traveler and wild creature, but companions exploring life side by side. On days when obstacles arose, such as steep hills or rough patches of rocky terrain, the horse showcased remarkable perseverance. It would sometimes pause ahead and glance back at Leo with encouragement in its eyes, as if silently saying, "You can do this. Keep going." It filled Leo's heart with warmth whenever he caught those looks. The sense that they were determined together made every struggle feel lighter. One particular afternoon, as they climbed a steep trail leading to stunning mountain views overhead, tiredness settled into Leo's bones after hours on foot. He took a moment to rest against a large stone beside the path while catching his breath. His loyal companion ambled up beside him instead of moving ahead without hesitation. "Thank you for staying close," he said softly as he patted its neck gently, a gesture that felt natural now after sharing countless miles together. In response, the horse leaned into him slightly. It appeared almost protective, as if sensing his fatigue, and assuring him that they were in this together, no matter what challenges lay ahead. The bond between traveler and wild creature continued to deepen beyond mere trust. It evolved into true companionship, formed from shared experiences and moments of understanding each other's unspoken language, whether through glances or shared laughter beneath bright skies. Each day melted into another, filled with laughter echoing against mountainsides alongside challenges met collectively. Signs revealing deeper connections blossoming within this enchanting adventure among nature's beauty. And all who witnessed them couldn't help but feel touched by their extraordinary friendship unfolding before them. As the journey continued, Leo and the wild horse faced a variety of challenges that tested both their resolve and deepened their bond. The scenery around them transformed as they ventured into new terrains, each area presenting its own set of obstacles. One morning, they approached a steep hill that loomed larger than anything they had encountered so far. Leo looked up at its rocky surface, adorned with an intricate pattern of dirt and grass. He could feel a twinge of unease creeping in, but as he glanced at his companion, the wild horse stood tall and confident, ready to tackle the ascent. Its keen eyes sparkled with determination, sending Leo an encouraging message. "We can do this together." Gathering his courage, Leo began to climb. Each step became a challenge as the trail narrowed and loose stones shifted beneath his feet. He paused to catch his breath, feeling fatigue setting in. Just then, he noticed that the horse had stayed near him, following closely along the path. Each time Leo stumbled or hesitated, the horse would glance back toward him, as if saying, "Keep going, you're stronger than you think." In those moments of doubt, the comforting presence of his companion offered a renewed sense of purpose. Inspired by the horse's unwavering determination, Leo pressed on, conquering the hill one step at a time. When he reached the top, out of breath but exhilarated, he couldn't help but laugh in celebration. The wild horse stood proudly beside him, breathing heavily but sharing in his joy. Another challenge awaited them soon after. A sudden change in weather that brought dark clouds rolling across the sky like a heavy blanket. The air shifted from warm and inviting to cool and brisk in an instant. As raindrops began to patter softly against the ground, Leo felt uncertainty wash over him. "Looks like we might get wet," he said to the horse with a half-smile. Before long, the gentle rain turned into a downpour, drenching them both unexpectedly. Leo quickly sought refuge under a sturdy tree while glancing back at his equine friend. To his relief, the horse instinctively moved closer to him as they huddled together beneath the branches. It was as if it understood that shelter offered some comfort amid nature's unpredictability. Leo reached out and caressed its neck gently, feeling grateful for their newfound companionship in such trying circumstances. Once the storm passed and droplets from leaves began to fall rhythmically onto the ground below, they emerged from their hiding place. The world around them was transformed. Trees glistened with wetness while puddles formed on the muddy trail ahead. Together, they stepped gingerly through splashes and soft earth. Navigating through mud required focus when every footfall caused resistance. Maintaining steady encouragement between them helped keep morale high as each new drip from above left reminders of storms once encountered. With every splash Leo made while walking forward, confidently encouraged by those bright brown eyes looking back at him, it felt rewarding despite misgivings concerning how far they had yet to go. As their journey progressed deeper into winding paths, leading through dense forests, bursting with rich scents, the tiredness settled heavier upon him again after countless hours, trekking along narrow trails flanked by towering trees laden with thick foliage overhead. Feeling weary on one late afternoon, his legs aching from exertion, Leo paused beside another clear stream bubbling invitingly nearby. Its gentle sound soothed him momentarily before calling out to take another break. The wild horse stood some distance away, watching attentively. Sensing its traveler's fatigue led it instinctively closer rather than heading off somewhere else. "Thanks for keeping pace," he panted while taking in quick gulps of fresh air amidst cool breezes flowing around them. Amidst echoes surrounding hillsides adorned by vibrant colors painted through nature's touch, telling stories throughout generations past. Leo drew a deep breath before lifting himself slowly off uneven ground toward a grassy patch nearby, where blades sparkled glistening brightly after rains earlier. Kneeling down helped ease tension while appreciating life swirling around. Bugs buzzing harmoniously alongside colorful butterflies flitting about merrily among blooming blossoms, painting vibrancy onto every inch covered beneath brightening skies. Before long, energized by connection formed between two unique beings braving challenges together, They resumed this enchanting adventure forged within mystery, shared actively unveiling striking colors beneath sun-kissed landscapes leading onward. Together with loyalty demonstrated, each obstacle they faced became manageable. Despite unpredictability awaiting ahead, still lingering behind whispers hidden throughout luxuriant lands, teeming vibrantly under open arms, inviting exploration. Beyond borders drawn simply alongside roads, chosen, epochs past, wouldn't foresee unfolding. Friendships blossoming within breathtaking transformations, captured eternally. After several days of exploration and adventure, Leo and the wild horse finally approached the outskirts of a nearby town. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden glow over the quaint buildings that lined the main street. Leo felt a flutter of excitement mixed with apprehension as they neared this new destination. He had grown accustomed to the wild, open spaces and now faced the bustling world of townspeople and their watchful eyes. As they entered the town, the horse trotted confidently beside Leo, its chestnut coat gleaming in the fading sunlight. Curious glances met them from every direction. Children playing on the sidewalk paused their games to stare wide-eyed at the unusual sight of a traveler accompanied by such a majestic creature. Some whispered to each other, pointing excitedly, while others stood frozen in place, captivated by the beauty of the wild horse. Leo smiled at the children, feeling proud of his companion. He could sense that their arrival was something special, not just for him, but for everyone witnessing this unique moment. As they walked further into town, more townsfolk emerged from their shops and homes, drawn by the commotion. A baker with flour-dusted hands peeked out from behind his door, his eyes widening in surprise at the sight before him. "Is that a wild horse?" he exclaimed, barely able to contain his excitement. His voice carried through the air, drawing even more attention. "Yes," Leo responded cheerfully. "It followed me on my journey. Isn't it amazing?" The baker chuckled, shaking his head in disbelief. "I've never seen anything like it. You've got quite the friend there." As they continued down the road, Leo noticed how some adults seemed skeptical, crossing their arms and exchanging doubtful looks. "What's next?" one elder murmured to another, skepticism coloring her tone. "A wild horse following a traveler? Sounds like a tall tale." But Leo paid little mind to those doubts. He was too busy reveling in the joy of sharing this experience with his newfound companion. The wild horse seemed equally intrigued by its surroundings, pricking its ears up at the sounds of laughter and chatter that filled the air. They made their way toward a small park at the center of town where people often gathered to socialize and enjoy sunshine. As they approached, Leo decided it would be nice to stop there for a bit. He could feel the energy bubbling around him. It was as if everyone was ready for something extraordinary to happen. When they reached the park, Leo gently led the horse to a grassy area away from benches where townsfolk had assembled. He took a deep breath and turned to face the gathering crowd. "This is my friend. I call her Star," he announced proudly, gesturing toward the horse's magnificent form. The crowd erupted into applause and cheers. The excitement was palpable as children began to rush forward, drawn by curiosity and wonder. They surrounded Star with wide smiles and eager hands reaching out to touch her shimmering coat. "Can I pet her?" one little girl exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with delight. "Of course," Leo encouraged with a warm smile. "Just be gentle. She's still getting used to people." Star stood calmly amidst all the commotion, nuzzling against those who approached her with kindness. With each gentle stroke from curious fingers, Leo noticed how relaxed she became. A natural bond forming not only between them, but also between Star and the townsfolk who now surrounded her. As laughter filled the air and stories began to flow about their adventures together, tales of steep hills conquered and storms weathered. Leo felt an overwhelming sense of belonging wash over him. This was more than just an arrival in town. It was a celebration of friendship that had unfolded between him and Star. Suddenly, a man stepped forward from the crowd, a local farmer with a rugged look but kind eyes. "You know," he said thoughtfully, "it's not every day we see something like this in our town. Perhaps there's something special about this horse that can bring us all together." His words resonated deeply within Leo as he considered what this journey had meant for him and Star so far. The bond they shared was indeed unique, one that transcended ordinary encounters and spoke to something greater about companionship. Encouraged by this sentiment, Leo responded enthusiastically, "I think Star has already started bringing us together. We've faced challenges along our journey, but we've also found joy in exploring nature and discovering new friendships." With smiles spreading across faces of all ages, it became clear that this unexpected arrival had sparked a sense of unity among everyone present. A reminder that connections forged in kindness could light up even the darkest corners of life, as laughter echoed through the park and stories continued to unfold under brightening skies. Leo realized that not only had he found a loyal companion in Star, but also an entire community ready to embrace adventure together. From that day forward, both traveler and horse became cherished figures within this little town, a living testament to friendship's transformative power while weaving new tales into their shared journey ahead. As news of Leo and Star spread through the town, more and more people began to gather in the park. It was as if an invisible magnet pulled them together, curiosity shining brightly in their eyes. Parents held their children's hands tightly, guiding them through the crowd, while others stood on tiptoes to catch a glimpse of the unusual sight that had captured the town's imagination. "Have you ever seen anything like this?" a woman exclaimed to her neighbor, her voice filled with amazement. "A wild horse following a traveler. How did that happen?" The townspeople exchanged excited whispers, speculating about the bond between Leo and Star. "Maybe the horse has been abandoned and found comfort in this traveler," suggested an older man with a gray beard, scratching his chin thoughtfully. "Or perhaps it feels some kind of connection to him." Leo stood slightly off to one side, feeling both proud and somewhat overwhelmed by the attention. The wild horse, with its shiny coat glimmering under the afternoon sun, was a spectacle that drew them all. Children giggled and pointed, their laughter echoing through the park as they tried to get closer without startling Star. "Do you think it's safe?" a little boy asked his father, his wide eyes fixed on the horse. "What if it runs away?" His father knelt down beside him and replied, "Well, it seems to like Leo very much. Look how calm it is." The boy nodded slowly but still watched warily, unsure about approaching the magnificent creature. Meanwhile, Leo took a moment to breathe in the atmosphere around him. He could see that some townsfolk wore skeptical expressions, their arms crossed as they observed the situation with caution. A wild horse following a stranger? "What's next?" muttered one elder, shaking her head slightly as she exchanged glances with another doubter beside her. But for every doubtful gaze, there were also looks of wonder and delight. One enthusiastic young girl broke away from her mother and rushed forward, her heart racing with excitement. "Can I pet it, please?" she pleaded. "Of course," Leo replied warmly, kneeling down to her level, while gently patting Star's neck. "Just be gentle. She's still getting used to meeting people." The girl's face lit up as she carefully reached out her small hand to stroke Star's soft fur. The horse leaned into her touch, and Leo watched in delight as trust blossomed between them. Word of this moment spread quickly through the crowd, sparking even more curiosity among those who hadn't yet approached. "What's her name?" someone called out from the back of the group. "Her name is Star," Leo announced proudly, smiling at the horse as if introducing an old friend. The crowd responded with murmurs of appreciation. Star was indeed deserving of a name as beautiful as she was. As more people gathered around, questions began to flow like water in a rushing stream. "How did you find her?" one woman asked, leaning forward in anticipation. "I didn't find her. She found me," Leo replied with a chuckle. "She started following me during my journey through the countryside." His voice carried warmth and sincerity, and he could feel the connection between him and Star grow even stronger as he shared their story. Another man chimed in with genuine curiosity. "What do you think made her decide to follow you?" Leo considered this for a moment before answering honestly. "I believe it was something about the way we both felt, and perhaps a bit of instinct on her part. I think she sensed that I was just as curious about the world as she is." The crowd nodded thoughtfully, contemplating his words. There was something magical about what Leo said. It felt like more than just an explanation. It hinted at deeper connections among all living beings. Just then, a farmer in worn boots stepped forward, noticing how engaged everyone had become. "If this lovely horse can follow a traveler like you and bring everyone together," he addressed Leo directly, "maybe she's meant to stay here with us for a while." The suggestion hung in the air like a question waiting for an answer. Leo felt his heart skip a beat as he thought about what that might mean. Could Star really become a part of this community? The idea sent shivers of excitement through him, while creating a twinge of uncertainty too. "Perhaps," he finally replied cautiously, yet hopefully. "I think Star has already brought us together in ways I never expected." The townspeople erupted into applause again, fueled by enthusiasm for their new friend and gratitude for the bond that had formed among them all. An unexpected connection ignited by a wild horse wandering into their lives. In that moment, Leo realized that Star was not just following him anymore. She had woven herself into the fabric of this town, a living symbol of friendship and unity that would remind everyone of the adventures they shared while embracing new beginnings ahead. As Leo settled into life in the town with Star by his side, he often found himself reflecting on their journey together. The townspeople had welcomed them with open arms, and every day seemed to reveal new layers of connection between him and the wild horse. Yet, beneath the surface of this newfound companionship lay a mystery. What truly connected them, and why Star had chosen to follow him so willingly. One sunny afternoon, as Leo sat on a bench in the park surrounded by children eager to pet Star, he noticed something unusual. While Star enjoyed the attention, every now and then it seemed to flinch slightly at unexpected sounds or movements. Leo observed how she would shift her weight or raise her head quickly when a loud laugh echoed through the air. It made him wonder if there was more to Star's behavior than just curiosity. That evening, after the excitement of the day had subsided and the townsfolk returned to their homes, Leo took some time alone with Star by the creek near his temporary shelter. The water sparkled under the moonlight, while fireflies danced around them, creating an enchanting atmosphere. He gently stroked Star's mane, feeling grateful for her presence, but also curious about what might be troubling her. "Hey, girl," he whispered softly. "What's going on in that beautiful head of yours?" He looked deep into her expressive eyes, searching for answers that remained unspoken. It was in this moment of quiet reflection that Leo noticed something he hadn't seen before. A small scar along Star's front leg. It was faint but visible enough to catch his eye. A wave of realization washed over him. It dawned on him that this might explain some of her cautious behavior during their travels together. Perhaps she had been injured at some point in her life, leading to hesitance when encountering sudden noises or unfamiliar situations. His heart sank as he considered what this could mean for Star. Had she been abandoned or left behind due to her injury? The thought filled him with compassion, and he wished he could understand her past better. Determined to learn more, Leo approached a local veterinarian who had been observing their bond closely since they arrived in town. "I've noticed some things about Star," Leo began one morning after gathering courage to speak about his concerns. "She seems a bit skittish at times, and I think I found a scar on her leg." The veterinarian nodded knowingly as she listened intently. "Horses can carry emotional scars from their past just as much as physical ones," she explained gently. "An injury can create fear and uncertainty. It's possible that she was once mistreated or went through a traumatic experience before you met." Leo felt a pang of sadness for Star. He wanted so much for her to feel safe and loved moving forward. "Do you think she'll ever fully trust again?" he asked softly. "It takes time," the veterinarian replied thoughtfully. "But with your patience and kindness, you can help her rebuild that trust." She smiled encouragingly. "Animals are incredibly resilient. They can overcome challenges if given love and care." That night, Leo sat by the creek again, with Star beside him, contemplating how he could support her healing journey. He knew that simply being present for her wouldn't be enough. He needed to build a foundation of trust based on understanding. Over the next few weeks, Leo focused on creating an environment where Star could feel truly safe. He spent time walking with her around town while allowing space for exploration without pressuring her too much. Yet, even stopping when she showed signs of unease at sudden movements or loud noises. One day, while practicing gentle riding techniques with some encouragement from friendly townsfolk who lent support, Leo saw a remarkable change begin to unfold in Star's demeanor. As they moved through bustling streets together during celebrations held in honor of their new friendship, the horse showed less hesitation and even began trotting confidently alongside cheerful children waving colorful flags. "Look, she's having fun," one little girl exclaimed joyfully as she watched them pass together, a smile stretching wide across her face. "That's right," Leo responded enthusiastically, while patting Star reassuringly on its flank as they continued forward confidently side by side. A partnership blooming amid laughter shared all around them. In those moments filled with laughter and camaraderie among townsfolk, Leo realized that discovering the underlying reasons behind Star's behavior was crucial, not only for helping her heal, but also highlighted their relationship's strength, growing deeper rooted within shared experiences, overcoming obstacles unitedly faced throughout adventures ahead. As days turned into weeks, the bond between traveler and horse blossomed into an extraordinary friendship anchored by trust forged through understanding each other fully. Even amidst uncertainties lingering behind shadows cast long ago, together they began writing new chapters filled with joy, while embracing possibilities waiting just beyond horizons unseen, not only reminding themselves what it means to connect intimately, but inspiring those who witness their journey shaped lovingly throughout every step taken forward together. As Leo and Star became integral parts of the town, the community's spirit transformed in ways both surprising and heartwarming. Word of their remarkable bond traveled fast, inspiring not only curiosity, but also a deep sense of kinship among the townsfolk. No longer were they just onlookers. They were now active participants in fostering this friendship and aiding Star's recovery. One morning, as Leo prepared to take Star for a walk around the town, he noticed a small crowd gathering near the park. The energy was palpable, fueled by excitement and enthusiasm for what had become a common topic of conversation: how to support both Leo and his new friend, Star. Families came together. Children laughed and played, while adults exchanged ideas about how they could help. "Let's organize a fund to ensure Star gets everything she needs," suggested the baker who had first welcomed Leo. "We could raise money for her care, including food, supplies, and maybe even some training sessions." Within moments, others chimed in with agreement. "Yes, we could host a bake sale this weekend and donate all proceeds," added a local teacher, her eyes sparkling with determination. "I'll get my students involved too. They'd love to help out." Ideas bounced around like confetti in the air. Bake sales, community events, even a gathering to share stories about Leo's journey with Star that would help inspire others to give. It was as if the townspeople felt compelled to unite under this cause. A shared belief that every creature deserved love and protection. As plans solidified over the next couple of days, the park transformed into an epicenter for this newfound enthusiasm. Colorful banners were hung between trees while tables were set up to collect donations or offer handmade treats. Children eagerly drew posters that read, "Help Star," and decorated them with drawings of horses prancing in vibrant fields, a testament to their fondness for Leo's companion. When Bake Sale Day arrived, families flocked to the park in droves. The sun shone brightly overhead as laughter filled the air. Children giggling while running about with balloons tied to their wrists beneath a blue sky painted softly with wispy clouds. Townsfolk gathered at tables adorned with delicious pastries, cookies, and cakes. Mouth-watering aromas wafted through open spaces, beckoning passers-by in. Leo watched from nearby, a mix of gratitude swelling within him as he observed not just support for Star, but the overwhelming kindness demonstrated by complete strangers who had turned into friends through this journey together. As customers lined up eagerly to buy baked goods with cheerful chatter all around them, he could see townspeople explaining Star's story to newcomers intrigued by a wild horse residing amongst them now. They recounted tales of her gentle nature while sharing details about Leo's adventures that led them all here. It felt like one huge family united through love for animals combined with genuine compassion toward fellow travelers navigating life together. In between serving snacks at various booths, it didn't take long before news spread like wildfire about an unexpected surprise courtesy of a generous local farmer who volunteered horse feed from his own supplies after hearing of Star's condition earlier on. As grateful tears filled Leo's eyes upon witnessing such acts from those who understood both trials faced along their journey. He felt immense pride knowing they were creating something beautiful out of earlier challenges encountered. As they collected funds and donations throughout the day, all smiles brightened by each sweet treat sold. The spirit of unity thrived effortlessly against any odds encountered prior. During moments of uncertainty that had lingered behind shadows cast across trails once walked alone. Later that evening, after another successful fundraising initiative concluded, Leo decided it was time to show appreciation directly back towards those who helped turn this extraordinary tale into reality over fresh baked muffins shared among friends gathered close together in warm camaraderie under starlit skies, illuminating love filling every corner. Visible outside their homes beyond tales once whispered between bimbling paths, before leading naturally forward side by side today, instead creating timeless adventures ahead, waiting patiently, silently, as memories forged throughout hearts, welcomed warmly upon dawning horizons, rising through mutual understanding. Blossoming fully embraced, within newfound connections, linking every soul touched intimately, forever changed, forever. Brightening brighter together, illuminated brightly ahead, always forward rather than apart. Once again discovering true wonders held tightly, hand in hand onward toward seeking happiness, always waiting nearby, waiting patiently, yearningly, loving embrace around every corner, just beyond awaiting discovery, expressing gentle hopes held high, tirelessly further reminding themselves how togetherness shapes. Positively every shared experience, embracing life, joyfully blooming, unexpectedly beautifully, reminding everyone. Together, they could achieve anything. As time passed, the impact of Leo and Star's presence in the town became increasingly evident. What began as a simple connection between a traveler and a wild horse had blossomed into a powerful force for change, weaving the community together in ways nobody could have anticipated. The town was bustling with activity, its heart beating stronger as shared experiences fostered lasting bonds among its residents. The annual festival dedicated to animals and friendship became a cherished tradition, drawing people from neighboring towns to participate and celebrate. Families set up booths, showcasing local crafts and baked goods, while children engaged in games and activities centered around caring for animals. The excitement was palpable, but more importantly, it served as a reminder of the lessons learned through Leo and Star's journey, a testament to the beauty of kindness, empathy, and understanding. One sunny afternoon during the festival, Leo stood beneath colorful banners fluttering in the breeze. He watched as families laughed together while children eagerly painted faces and crafted handmade cards that read, "Thank you," to both animal friends and their human companions. It struck him how far they had come. Their small community had transformed into a vibrant tapestry of interconnected lives, influenced by love for nature and each other. Throughout the festivities, Leo felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude wash over him. He noticed how people who had once been strangers were now friends. Neighbors sharing stories about their encounters with Star or discussing ways to care for animals better. Conversations flowed effortlessly as they shared hopes for future initiatives that would promote wildlife conservation or educate younger generations about responsible pet ownership. The local veterinarian who had supported Leo since his arrival joined in on discussions too. She found herself surrounded by curious families eager to learn about animal health and well-being. "It's wonderful to see such enthusiasm," she remarked with a warm smile. "This community is truly becoming advocates for kindness toward all living creatures." As Leo conversed with various townspeople, he couldn't help but reflect on how these events changed relationships within town dynamics. Where there had previously been skepticism or doubt, especially regarding Star's journey, now lay an open-mindedness, welcoming exploration. The recent connection forged through shared purpose created unity rarely seen before amongst folks who lived close yet never truly connected. Even those who initially frowned upon Leo's adventure were now excited supporters of what he represented. Resilience amidst hardship, paired with compassion towards those often overlooked. Old grievances slowly faded away as they recognized common ground emerging from acts rooted deeply within goodwill. One day after the festival concluded, sitting under a shady tree in the park with Star resting nearby, Leo overheard two neighbors chatting animatedly about their plans for another fundraising event aimed at supporting local shelters eager for resources required to care properly for lost animals needing homes. It warmed his heart, knowing this enthusiasm stemmed directly from witnessing how love nurtured life. Every action ultimately echoing values instilled within each individual touched by Star's story. Later that week, Leo worked alongside townsfolk preparing a community garden where everyone could contribute by planting flowers or vegetables that would bloom brightly amid green spaces, benefiting nature while encouraging friendships sparked along every path, walked together henceforth. as seasons changed gracefully, leaves turning golden hues, signaling autumn's arrival. The bond between Star, Leo, and their ever-growing circle of friends remained steadfast against any trials ahead. They all learned valuable lessons rooted deeply within experiences shared over time. Kindness is transformative regardless of size. Friendship knows no boundaries. Understanding nature opens hearts wider than imagined possible before stepping outside familiar comfort zones. With every moment spent together, gleeful laughter echoing back through memories etched among them across paths taken each day. They discovered joy lies not merely within accomplishments achieved, but embraces connections formed along journeys, walked hand in hand, navigating life toward brighter tomorrows, filled abundantly with boundless possibilities, awaiting discovery around corners, always inviting exploration forward, welcoming every heart, willing open, gently embracing gifts, held lovingly revealed, eternally cherished, continuously thriving, beautifully shining light, guiding hearts homeward, warmly uniting lives, purposefully forever intertwined, expressing gratitude, passionately shared collectively, honoring one another amidst vibrant landscapes, painted lovingly, always brightening horizons, smiling softly back, boldly reflecting warmth, offered generously inviting all who dared dream together, creating life lived fully naturally, blossoming sweetly embraced, tenderly nurtured lovingly, until forever unfolds beautifully ahead.